So, I mean, and so this is how this is how RedDrop, came to be, honestly. And this, I mean, so it really was born out of me. Like I said, I was an educator and still am an educator, and started in the classroom where I saw a need for girls. Yeah. And so, I mean, I can go into that story. The story is, purely organic. I mean, with having a classroom full of girls, and I was, in a single gender environment, and having most of those girls start their period with me.
What grades were you teaching?
I was teaching 5th grade at that time.
Okay, gotcha.
And that's around the time when they are about 10 or 11. And having those girls start their cycle with me, and most of them weren't prepared. And I was like, wow. And so, at first it was really kind of a selfish, like, wow, I have 2 daughters. I never want them to not be prepared. And then the educator kicked in and was like, I have all of these girls in my reach. I have to make sure that they're taken care of.
Yeah. Your first thought was not really running a business. Probably was just like, how can I help these girls? How can I help them?
Right. My first thought was my own children. And then my second thought was like all of these children, right? Then the kind of the entrepreneurial like business, like, I have to touch multiple children. And now I really look at it like I need to impact generations. I need to impact, girls to worldwide in generations to come. If I can impact one girl, I feel like I can change the trajectory of generations in her family.
Well, tell me how it came to be though. Talk to me about how the business came to be. Are you at happy hour with Monica one night and you're telling her like, oh man, none of these girls are ready. Like, holy cow, you wouldn't believe. Are you just kind of talking to her about it and then you guys formulate it? What? Maybe we switch back over to Monica. Tell me, how does that happen? Is she talking to you about it, Monica, or how does it formulate?
No. So at the time, RedDrop is my 3rd startup. My first was called Passimals. It was a pacifier that was revolutionary in its own way. And this was during the beginning of that, and I was still packing them in my house. And I would have people come over and pack these orders for me. I had hundreds of things to get out, and I would have friends and family come over and pack pacifiers into these packages. So Dana was one of the victims one weekend, and she comes over to me and says, hey, I have this period idea. And I was like, that's stupid.
You're like, you're like, listen, we got like 50 packages we got to get out today. I don't need to,
Right. So, and I mean, I'd say that really it was more that at the time my child was an infant. So, and in my head, she was never going to have a period. And do you have kids, Steve?
I do. Yeah. 4 grown children. Yep.
All right.
Yep. And one daughter.
Okay. So do you remember when like they were born and you would go into these kids sections and there'd be like big, like, like even just like a 4T, right? You'd be like, my kid's never going to be that. Right. It's like craziest thing that this like little human's going to grow. So that's kind of where mentally I was. And I was like, okay, that's dumb. But then fast forward 10 years and she starts to get, girl parts. Yeah. It's like, oh, this is actually going
from the doctor. And that's from the doctor, Steve. Like,
yeah. So then I called Dana and I'm like, hey, about that period thing. And of course, she doesn't answer the phone or call me back. So a really smooth start.
Was there a gap? Was there like a year or two? Like it was a pretty big gap when Dana first brought it up until
10 years.
So there really was. Oh, okay. So there was wow. All right.
I mean, and during that time, I was just really just putting kits together myself, just still servicing girls the way I could within my, capacity, but not on a scale of RedDrop.
Were you thinking business or were you thinking I'm just helping for now?
Yeah, no, I wasn't thinking. Well, I think, I tried to start a business. I mean, in a sense where I just called it First Purse. It was like a little kind of cute thing.
Okay.
Nowhere in a scale of what me and Monica have. No,
Okay.
absolutely not.
All right. So 10 years goes by. Monica's got these other businesses. She's now becoming a serial entrepreneur, right? So your friend is like a serial entrepreneur. You're like, she knows how to get this started, the business aspect of it. She's got the experience. And then what happens, Monica? Your daughter starts to hit puberty, and then you call Dana and you're like, okay, let's talk more. Talk to me.
Right. And so then through that process, for me, it was kind of a matter of scale. And so we started really thinking of, was this a business, or maybe this is just something that we do to help people? And what we learned from that process was that there's a big gap that exists between when a girl starts her period at 8, 10, 12 to products that exist typically for grown women. And so when you go, when we talk to people and we say, oh, we're doing feminine hygiene, the thing that I think happens in their head is you walking into Walmart or Target or Walgreens, and there's 30 feet of aisle of feminine hygiene products. Why in the world would you want to do something like this? Mm-hmm. But the reality is that there's nothing that really is made for a girl. And so a girl in the US, when she starts her period, is about 90 pounds. She's about 5 feet tall. She still probably has PE or sports, so she's way more active. And she doesn't have access to a bathroom like a grown woman. So, if I wanted to use a product and something happens, I can just run into the bathroom anytime I want. This young woman has to raise her hand, somehow expresses she needs to go to the bathroom, get permission, and go to the bathroom. So the products that are made for her have to be really different. And that just was missing in the marketplace.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. And then at some point, do you guys do the formal LLC operating agreement? What at some point you're like, we're going to start a business here?
We do. And so we went through a lot of iterations. We started with an LLC, and we've had a lot of people kind of come and go. There are technically 3 co-founders, but we've had a lot of people kind of come and go because, Steve, I guess startup life's not for everybody. No. There's no money. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of mistakes. There's a lot of trial and error. Yeah. And, I'd obviously seen that before. This one has been a little bit more challenging. This has been a much longer road. This has taken us 2 full years of full execution to really get from start to launch. And I can't say that anything else has taken quite this long. But I also feel like this opportunity and our mission is way bigger than anything else I've ever really tried to tackle too.
Give us as it stands today, give us the 3-minute elevator pitch for RedDrop as it stands today. Like if you were on Shark Tank and you're doing a quick 3-minute deal, boom, give it to me.
So RedDrop is a feminine hygiene brand that's made for girls as they start their period. We make products that are designed for girls, not women. And we provide information for girls, moms, and dads. The goal of RedDrop is to grow to include period products and life change products as women develop from girl all the way through menopause.
Right.
Okay, very good. And Dana, are you you're live with revenue, right? You can order the product. Is it direct to the consumer from the website? Is it on Amazon? Talk to us a little bit about where the business stands right now from a revenue perspective and how you buy it.
You can buy it live on our website.
Okay.
Direct to consumer. We have product ready to ship straight.
Ready? Okay. And how long have you been selling at this point? How long have you been live with selling goods?
2 weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can also buy us on Walmart.com.
Yes.
Wow. How long has that been active? Is that all just 2 weeks? You guys been up for a couple of weeks. Perfect. Wow. Perfect timing to come on to the Riderflex podcast. Okay. Very good.
Well, the other things I want to cut you off, Dana. I want you to piggyback on this, but really in honor of Dana's mission, we also sell to schools.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I was just going to say, and we also sell to schools, which is really important to us, and through schools.
I see.
Yeah, because it's really, when you think about it, girls spend a great deal of their time non-COVID in schools.
Mm-hmm.
And so the likelihood of a girl starting their cycle in school is extremely great.
Mm-hmm.
So
great idea. Great idea. How do you get the schools to open up their budget, purse strings, and pay for this stuff? Who's making that sales call?
Well, we have our other co-founder that is making some of those calls.
Okay.
Through relationships that I have as well, just locally within Atlanta. We are in some districts here in Atlanta. We're there. And we're definitely looking to be, nationwide in other districts.
If you think today's tip or guest interview can help someone you know, please share this with them. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. The Riderflex Podcast features entrepreneurs, business executives, and the stories behind how they got there, as well as daily tips on career advice and job interviewing. You can visit riderflex.com to learn more about us and get information and pricing on the recruiting and consulting services we provide. Thanks so much for listening and have a great day.